Hey everyone, welcome back to our React series. In today's session, we will dive into the useReducer hook, an advanced alternative to useState for handling complex state logic in React application. Let's get started. So, why use a reducer? Now, use a reducer is a perfect when your state logic is complex or when the next state depends on the previous one. It's also great for structure state transition similar to Redux, but without extra dependency. Use it when your state consists of multiple related values. The next state depends on the previous state, and you want more predictable state transition. Let's break down how useReducer works. The useReducer hook takes two arguments, a reducer function and an initial state. Now you can see here we have a constant, here we have a state, and here we have a dispatch, and here we use a useReducer, reducer and initial state. So here what is his state? So it holds the current state, and here is the dispatch. It's a functions used to trigger action, and here is a reducer. It's a function that determines state updates based on the action, and here is the initial state. It's the starting state. Let's implementation a simple counter using useReducer. Here is the step one. Here is the define the reducer function. The reducer function decides how state changes based on an action. Here you can see we have a functions like a counter reducer. Here we use a state, and here we use a action, and here we use a sweep action dot type. Now here is a case increment, and here we return a state dot count plus 1. Here we have a case decrement, and here we return a count state dot count minus 1. And here we use a reset case, and here we return count 0, and here we default 0, and here we return a state. Now we open our code editor. Now you can see here we have a app content.js file, and here we use a import react. Now you can see here we have a file code which is here, and the next is a use reducer in a component. Now let's use our reducer in a react component. So here we have a import react use reducer from react. Here we have a function counter, and here we constant initial state like count 0, and here we have a state dispatch use reducer. And now you can see here is our that content which is here. So we bind these two code. Now you can see here we have a three buttons like dispatch, and here we have a increment button, and here have a decrement button, and here we have a reset, and here we give a style like text align center and padding 20 pixel. Now we save this. Now you can see here our browser. Now you can see here we have a count 0, and here we have a three buttons. When we increase, now you can see it's increase, its count is increased. Now when we decrease, its counts decrease. Now we increase, and when I click on reset button, now it's give me a 0. When I decrease, it's give me a minus 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 minus, and when I click on a reset, now you can it's a 0. Now the second is managing complex state with useReducer. So useReducer shines when managing complex states like a to-do list app. Let's build one here. Now here is the step one. I can see here we have the reducer function takes state and action and updates the state based on action type. Now you can see here we have a action dot type, and here we use a add, and here we like a state. You can see here we use a operator here. Now you can see here we have a id date. Now here we have a action dot payload. Now here we use a return state filter to do. Now here is the action dot payload, and here we use a default, and here we use a return state. Now the second step is implementation useReducer in a component. Here we initialize the to do state. Now you can see here we use a function to do app, and you can see here we use a useReducer, and here we give our conditions like if, and here we give a return statement. Now we have a div h2 and values and a buttons, and here we use a to do dot map to do. Now here we have a dispatch type remove payload to do dot id. Now in our code editor, now we created a file like to do.js, and you can see here we have both code step 1 and step 2. Here we create a to do reducer, and here we create a function like to do app. When and here we save this, and here we use a to do app in a app.js. Here we use a to do. Now we save this. We check in. Now you can see here we have a to do list. Here we give a task like helping to do. Now you can see it's a helping. Now here we use a catching. and add. Now you can see it's add. Now here we use a go to school, go to market. You can see it's added. Now when we remove our catching, now you can see it's removed perfectly. So that's a wrap. We explore use reducer, build a counter and a to-do list and compare it with use state. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment. Keep smiling and happy coding. Thank you.